What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall markets. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, not to mention other factors involving Tesla news. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Weeble link. If you deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20. And deposit $2,000 more, you're guaranteed 40 free stocks. This offer is going to be promoted for only 2 more weeks on this channel, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, as far as Tesla's going, we're doing a good job at holding up so far. Tesla was on a bit of a downtrend. It was downtrending, a couple of days ago as it approached its 50 EMA. And if we lost this thing had the risk of coming all the way down to fill this gap. However, what happened was once we hit our 50 EMA, this yellow EMA was our support. Tesla got bought back up, and then the buyers came back on Friday to push this right back up. So now it looks like because buyers managed to reclaim the 20 EMA, this has the potential to push up even higher as long as we don't lose our major support. And this could push Tesla all the way back up to about 353. Now, we also have a cup and handle that's forming, which could also favor upside, but whether or not this pans out depends on some factors. That's why I want to talk about some news. I want to talk about some data first before I break down more details about the charts. The first piece of news is this right here. We have a big piece of news that JP Morgan has agreed to drop the lawsuit against Tesla over stock warrants, and Tesla's done the same thing as well. So if I go down here, it actually talks about how this panned out. Back in November of 2021, JP Morgan sued Tesla, seeking $162.2 million, alleging that Tesla breached a 2014 contract related to stock warrants that it sold to the bank. That's some very, very important news that came out. As a result of that happening, there was this news right here that they believe that they were obligated to reprice the warrants after Musk's tweets in the past involving Tesla, going private. So that involved a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go over the full details on that. But what happened was Tesla countersued JP Morgan in January of 2023, accusing the bank of seeking a windfall when it repriced the warrants. So it's just a back and forth court thing involving these stock warrants, back and forth, pretty wild stuff. However, finally, after all this suing back and forth and this arguing, they have agreed to once again come to a consensus. So what's happening is they agreed on Friday to drop the lawsuits. JP Morgan did that for Tesla. And then on top of that, they came up with a one-page court filing from both companies that they're going to once again drop their claims against one another. So now Tesla is doing the same thing back. Each of them are dropping their claims against each other. And there's also this news here that they are planning on potentially entering a new commercial relationship to settle the outstanding disputes between the companies. That's a good piece of news, in my opinion. So it's good that Tesla has one less thing to worry about, and it's good that they have improved the situation with JP Morgan. That's a good piece of news. And I consider this, a nice win for Tesla. That is a good piece of news, if anything. On top of this, there's this news right over here about what's happening with the end of the year. Tesla is initiating its new sales push for immediately available vehicles. And they're doing this because they're trying to clear out as much inventory as possible. And there's a very, very big email that came out which says this. I think it's way down here. So Sawyer Merritt is the one who essentially tweeted this. They said that there's a new email from Tesla. Tesla vehicles are ready for immediate delivery nearby. Drive one home before the new year, and you'll also get 3 months of free supercharging in FSD. There's 0% APR financing that's available for the Model 3 and the Model Y vehicles up until the new year. So that's a good piece of news. I think that's very, very bullish. And I think that this is going to help incentivize a big push in sales to close this year off because now, once again, for the Teslas that are nearby, some people are going to be qualifying for this. It's an awesome piece of news. I think that Tesla's going to try to get those sales up to close the year. Hopefully, we see some major, major growth as we prepare for the next year, which is also expecting to see 20 to 30% growth. Good news for Tesla as well, in my opinion. On top of this, when it comes to our data, volume is very weak on Tesla at about 36.6 million. Hopefully, we see a big surge in volume. Volume starts going back up to like the 60 plus million mark, if not 90 million. We could see the share price really improve. The short volume has been going down for Tesla. It's a good sign. There's less shorting, and hopefully, this improves as time goes on. On top of this, there is some news right here. UBS gave Tesla a sell rating. They are saying that Tesla is very, very overvalued in their opinion, and the fundamentals don't align with where the share price is. But Wedbush came out a couple of days before that, and they actually said that Tesla has more upside potential with the $400 price target. So very different views from different analysts, at least thus far. The price price ratio is going up as Tesla's building some strength compared to the market. And then Mondays are historically green about 53% of the time. They're one of the most green days of the week. Hopefully, we get a nice Monday for tomorrow. Also, know that historically, November tends to be strong. December tends to be like 50-50 for Tesla, whereas January tends to be even stronger when they get their end of year deliveries. If anything, I think that's an interesting piece of news. I think Tesla will be fine nonetheless. But if anything, we still look very bullish, at least approaching December. So we'll have to see how it goes from that point on. We tend to see more volatility and more green at 11 o'clock a.m. and also at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watch Tesla during those times. And besides that, I'm not really seeing anything else that's too crazy. I did see a lot of sell orders, at least when it comes to our dark pools. But besides that, things could shift at least going into tomorrow because now we're seeing Tesla getting bought back up. So talking about some news, now I'll talk about the charts. Just know this: tomorrow we just have very minor earnings. There's nothing too serious coming out tomorrow. There's no earnings before market open, and some come out after close. It's all very minor. For Tuesday, we have a couple of banks announcing earnings. Then we have Salesforce. So if you're interested in playing that, you guys could. Besides that, we have Chewy, Foot Locker, Dollar Tree, and a few more. Lots of retail announcing their earnings for Wednesday. And then Thursdays, when we have Dollar General, TD Bank, and very, very minor earnings like Lululemon, not to mention Ulta Beauty. So that's pretty much it. Very minor earnings, if anything. Two more things. Tomorrow is going to be Monday, December 2nd, 2024. And by the way, happy December, everyone. The year is almost coming to a close. Time is just absolutely flying. But at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI reports, not to mention the ISM Manufacturing PMI, the ISM Manufacturing Employment, and more data just like that. So we'll see what this leads to. Look for some volatility 15 minutes and 30 minutes after market open. Besides that, the fear and greed index is currently at greed. So far, there's a lot of greed right now. Momentum remains extremely greedy, at least for the S&P 500. The put to call option ratio is dipping for the markets on the 5-day average because we're continuing to see more and more of these buyers stepping in, closing their shorts, and the VIX remains more bearish, which is bullish for the charts. So once again, at 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, look for more volatility with some manufacturing numbers coming out. Besides that, for Tesla, we're going to be watching to see what news comes out tomorrow morning. Now let's just talk about these levels. So from this point on, I'm just going to focus on the technical analysis side of things. If Tesla is bearish tomorrow, just hypothetically, if we get a really bad piece of news, the main support's at the 20 EMA at that 340.35 area. If we lose that, we're going to be at risk of coming all the way down to not only 335 but also 332 flat towards the 50 EMA. So watch those levels very closely. At the same time, I just want to say that if we're bullish, okay, as long as we're above 340, we favor 353 to fill this imbalance. Not to mention, if we break that, we could be easily forming that cup and handle. Then we're going to be looking for the 360s very soon as Tesla remains bullish. So what's more likely? I just want to say this, guys. We have a cup and handle possibility on Tesla. The 4 hours nearing a bullish cross in the PPO, and we're above all of our key EMAs. Also, don't forget it's December. Starting off December, December is known for having Santa rallies, and there's a possibility it could be starting. So, as of right now, with the whole market looking more bullish and with the fact that Tesla's holding it very well, there's a very good chance it's going to continue to push. So, based on probabilities, the odds favor Tesla kind of dipping a bit and starting to push for that 353 target. As soon as tomorrow, we could be looking for more upside, and that's the most likely possibility when you look at the rest of the charts. I will shift my view if we end up losing 340 as the main support, but as of right now, the chart does favor upside more, and Tesla's looking more bullish. For other factors out there, we have the S&P 500 or SPY. The SPY ETF looks more bullish. It's very simple. Look at this resistance right here at 601. The 601 areas where we had previous all-time highs. If we lose 601, we're looking for 600 and 598 as our main supports. As long as we're above 601, we are favoring upside. Our target's going to be 604, then 605. Break past that, we're looking for 607 as our next potential target. So in my opinion, I think SPY looks more bullish. Might be a small dip upon open and a push for 604 plus, and eventually 605 plus could be coming as we remain more bullish. As long as we don't lose 601 and 600, we are favoring the upside, so just keep those levels in mind. As of right now, the chart's getting brought up at these EMAs. I will switch my view if we lose 600, but as of right now, there's no sign of that, and the buyers are continuing to defend. There's no major bad news, and the chart looks bullish to me, so we're favoring upside. Even ES, like right now, it's still holding up very, very well. We need to lose 6,025 to turn bearish to lose 6,001. As long as we're above that, we're favoring a push closer to about 6,080. We're making higher highs and higher lows and holding up our key EMAs. So I think 6,080 is a very pragmatic target. I think ES may continue to push for 6,060 and 6,080 as we look more bullish. If we lose 6,025, I will turn more bearish, but there's no sign of that so far, as the chart is continually making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and we look like we could be approaching that 6,080 target. For others out there, we have the one and only Nvidia stock. Nvidia is doing a good job at holding up, but just know this about Nvidia, okay? And I'm going to talk about Nvidia and Apple first before I break down the QQQ. Nvidia is doing a good job at holding up. We're going to be looking for a test of about 137, then 135, maybe 135. I'll have to see if that holds. But I want to say that we do love to hold around that 130 area, like 132. It got bought back up also around 130 flat. So this could be signaling a potential reversal, especially after we got these big green bars. So tomorrow there might be a small dip on Nvidia, but if we get bought back up and we see buyers defend 138 and we hold above that, I expect 140.5 and 142.5 as our targets. And there could be a very nice bounce coming to Nvidia. As long as we don't lose and close below 135 or even like lose this low, there's a chance this could be reversing. We had a very, very big low down here around 131. We came back up. If we make a higher low and then start bouncing, I will favor the upside. I think we dip a bit tomorrow morning, then we could attempt to reclaim 138 as long as we're above that or close above that. I'm favoring 140.5 and 142.5 as our potential targets, which does favor upside for a dip and a bounce. A nice bounce could be coming to Nvidia nonetheless. Apple's very bullish, making higher highs and higher lows. We need to see this thing lose this support at 235 and then 233 to turn bearish. As of right now, it has not done that. It's breaking out very nicely. I do want to call out 138 is going to be a tough resistance. We need to break that to hit 240. I think there's a good chance we continue to push for that resistance. So tomorrow, I think we're going to be testing 238. If that breaks, we're looking for 240. I think Apple has a very, very good chance of continuing this uptrend. In my opinion, I think we look more bullish. So give this the time it needs, and I think Apple's going to continue to pump. Now, that brings me to the one and only triple Q. The QQQ looks more bullish because Apple and Nvidia may lead the way, and they may use those as excuses to pump this even higher. Because once again, there's a lot of like algorithms that dictate how this is going to be moving. But I think that the algos could turn more bullish. Now, if we lose 508, look at 507.09 and then 505.5 is the three main supports. If we lose 507 to 505, I will turn a little bit more bearish. We could be looking for the lows of Thursday to be retested. As long as we're above 507 to 508, though, we are favoring upside. Now, I think what's going to happen is this likes to consolidate in the mornings, but we look very bullish on the 4 hour. If we hold above 510, we're looking for 512.5 as our target, eventually 514. The chart's making higher highs and higher lows, slowly uptrending. So I think that this is favoring a dip and a bounce, a potential push for 512.5 and 514. I think the QQQ looks more bullish, so we're favoring upsides. Just keep that in mind. For NQ, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 20,869, if we do lose that, we're looking for essentially 20,750. As long as we're above this, we're going to continue this uptrend very nicely to start pushing for 21,000. I think there's a very good chance that NQ is going to be testing 21,000. If we manage to hold above that, I'm looking for 21,100 as our next target. And this has some more upside potential looking at the way the chart is developing. So this is still favoring upside, so keep that in mind, guys. On top of that, we have Bitcoin looking bullish on the 4 hour. We have not lost our key supports. The supports to watch for at 96,680 and 95,909. If those both break, we're looking for essentially 94,800. Because we're holding support nicely, we're on a very, very nice uptrend. And as long as we're above 96,675, we're favoring a push for the 98,000 plus mark. If that breaks, the next target is 99,000 flat, which is kind of funny. But I think there's a very good chance it's going to continue to push with this inverse head and shoulders. We're looking for it to break past 98,000 plus as Bitcoin looks more bullish. Besides that, we have a few more. And by the way, guys, for Tesla, just know this. For every stock, there's a bullish and a bearish case, but right now the bullish cases look more probable, and Tesla looks like it wants to hold this cup and handle like structure to push even more. So just keep that in mind, guys. That is what my view of Tesla is for now. Anyways, let's talk about the rest of these charts now. I'm going to go into less detail and be a little bit more quick with the rest of these. So with that being said, let's get to that real quick. For Netflix, we look more bullish as long as we don't lose 878. I think we favor upside. Might be a small dip to 880 before it tries to bounce and start pushing for that 900 target. So it looks more bullish on the 4 hour. Look for a dip and a bounce is the most likely possibility. For MSTR, we're doing a good job at holding up. As long as we don't lose 380, I think the odds are favoring us trying to push for 420, then eventually 440. So as long as 380 holds, I think this is going to try to rebound for the 400s, and 420 could be a nice potential target. For CELH or Celsius, we have a nice trend here. We had a low here. We came up, made a higher low. As long as we don't lose this 28 area, I think we favor a dip and a bounce, and we could be on our way for 29.5. Look for a dip and a push for 29.5 is our most likely possibility. Then we'll have to see how it goes from there. For super micro, we're bullish as we're making higher highs and higher lows, but this might dip a little bit more first because of the weakness we're showing on the last couple of days. We need to get back above 36.9 to turn bullish, but I think what's going to happen is we test 30.7 or even a little bit below that towards like 28. Between 30 and 28 could be tested, but specifically 30.7 is the support to watch for. I think we dip a little bit more to test and we'll see if we get a bounce after that. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be the most likely possibility. So with that being said, I do think that there's a good chance that that's going to be what we end up seeing for a small dip, and then we'll see what happens after that. So just keep that in mind. For others out there, we have Palantir. Palantir is looking more bullish as we're holding above our 20 EMA very nicely. If we lose 65.24, we're looking for 64.4, but I'm not favoring downside. I think that this might dip a bit and start pushing for that 68 plus target or even higher than that as the trend is more bullish. For Rivian, we are looking a little bit weaker. Now, here's the thing about Rivian. We have a tough resistance between 12.5 and 13. Every time we hit 12.5 to 13, we hit this rejected, hit this rejected, hit this rejected. I think we might be dipping for 11.67 or so for a small dip. 12 then 11.6 could be coming before it tries to bounce again. So watch that very closely. It might be a small dip before we try to get that bounce. So please keep that in mind. For SoFi, we're in a very, very nice uptrend right now, making higher highs and higher lows. If we lose 15.77, we're looking for a dip to about 14.83. As long as we continue this trend, we could remain bullish for that 17 target. I think the odds favor that SoFi will dip a little bit, try to get closer to about that 16 area, which is where our 20 EMA is going to be soon. Look for a small dip before it tries to bounce. If anything, that's the most likely possibility. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're range bound between 239 and 244. We're going to likely be range bound for now. It might see a retest of 240, a little bit of a dip before it tries to bounce, but I think that the trend does have potential to break out higher because I think that we're just getting tighter and tighter for a breakout. I think that we dip for 240, then bounce to 244 and consolidate. And if we break one of those levels, we will break much higher or lower. I presume the upside is looking a little bit more probable if the market continues to push. So far, the Russell is doing a good job. For AMD, we're on a bit of a downtrend, but there is a possible reversal structure that could be forming with Nvda because we have a bullish divergence right here. Might be a small dip to about that 135 to 136 area, but as long as we make a higher low compared to this low, this could be a sign of dips and bounces. And then once we reclaim 138, we're looking for essentially 139.5, then 142. So it might be a dip to about the 136 area before it tries to bounce up for 138. So eventually 139.5 is likely coming. For ARM, we're just trading sideways right over here in this range. But just like Nvidia, I just want to say this has potential to bounce. We had a low here, came up into higher low. So if we break 136 points or 136-ish tomorrow, I think we easily go up to 140. There is some upside potential in this chart as we're holding up nicely, and we could be looking for that push. For coin, we're just range bound. We're stuck in this range between three like the 310 area and basically 290. I think we dip to 290 tomorrow, but as long as we hold 290, we bounce back up to 303, then 310. But if we don't hold 290, we're looking for a dip back down for the 280 area. The reason I'm talking about 290 is because every time we hit this, we did bounce historically. So we'll have to see if we end up making that move or not. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be very, very key for us. For the last ones, we have like Amazon looking more bullish. As long as we don't end up losing essentially 205, we're favoring upside. If 210 breaks, we're looking for 212.5. I think we favor 212 as we're looking more bullish. So look for a break of 210 for 212 for Amazon. Meta, as long as we don't lose 570, we favor upside. I think this might slowly chop its way up for that 580 area, if not above that. So it looks more bullish to me. For Microsoft, we look more bullish. As long as we don't lose 420, we're favoring that we want to bounce, make our way back up to about 428. So please keep that in mind as well. For Google is consolidating at this 170 area. As long as we're above that, we're looking for 172.5 and then 175 as our targets. If we end up losing 168, we're looking for a dip. I think we just consolidate around this 170 area before it tries to break out for 172.5. Then we'll have to see what happens after that. But that's going to be the most likely possibility. For DJT, we look more bullish. We have a nice accumulation right over here. We could be looking for a push back up for 132 or 32.5. So I think there's a good chance DJT tries to push higher. The VIX is on a bit of a downtrend. We could be looking for a move back down to the lower 13s. And if that fails us, we're looking for essentially, this level down here into the 12s. So I think that the VIX looks more bearish. If 13 fails us, this will continue to fall. I think that if anything, it looks bearish as the market remains bullish. So that's another signal. The 10 year is dipping because of what Jerome Powell, or at least what the Fed announced during the FOMC minutes about another cut coming. This is going to be testing 4.15. And then the dollar is also looking more bearish, which tends to be bullish for the markets. So as of right now, the technicals and the trend favors upside for the stock market, which could help Tesla push even higher. My view could change depending on news and such, but just know right now we look bullish and the odds are favoring Tesla trying to go for that 353 target or even above that. So right now it looks like a cup and handle is the most likely possibility, but we'll see how well we hold these levels just to be safe. So always watch your levels to be safe, guys, and know what to expect for supply and demand. I'm just here to give you guys the levels and let you know how things are looking. But, anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Just know the market favors upside for now, and we'll see what happens going into tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow before market open. Thank you for listening, and peace out.